Welcome back to our discussion of Halloween-related events in Hampton. Seamus McGrann, you've got some fun stuff going on at the History Museum.
Right, we're going to be doing our haunted Halloween tours. It was something over the past few years has really sort of evolved, and this year they're going to be bigger, more spookful, and horror-filled than before.
I will say this, having done this last year, this is gentle horror. These are ghosts from the past who might pop up in the graveyard or elsewhere in downtown Hampton. So it is kid-friendly in terms of horror.
Yes, nothing too horrifically horrible. But what we do is we leave the museum and take a tour through St. John's Church graveyard, go down through downtown Hampton, around some of the streets we're familiar with, and encounter some of the ghosts and people from the past that may have shrugged off this mortal coil nearby.
I will say, last year I was really surprised by the range of ages in this. There were kids, there were a lot of young adults, there were a lot of older adults, and it was, you know, somewhat fanciful and somewhat historical, all mixed into one.
Exactly.
You never knew who you were going to meet. Of course, there'll be a pirate contingent, I would suspect, because that is a big part of our history. There was some Civil War representation at the graveyard. I forget all the rest, but it was a very interesting mix of folks.
Right. Well, one of the things that it does do, though, is point out different aspects of Hampton's history that you may not have been aware of. For instance, who knows, you might encounter some World War II German submariners.
See, I don't recall them from last year. That might be new.
Or perhaps some escaped prisoners from the jail.
Ooh.
Right. And then to sort of tie into that fanciful element, you may hear some popular songs from our parents' childhoods, our teenagehoods, that dealt with, I don't know, maybe a young lady lost in an automobile accident. Well, you might encounter her. And so that's what we're really doing this year, is to include some other different elements in it, again, to sort of lighten it up and to add more dimensions to not just the city's past, but our overall past. But there's a lot of interesting stories here that happened in Hampton, again, that people might not be aware of. And if you encounter that part of our history through something that's fun and maybe a little bit offbeat, it can encourage people to want to find out more.
And I want to let people know, these things fill up. I mean, you really need to register and commit to a time, because there's a limited, you can't hear if the group gets too big. So you guys manage the size there. And there was a good crowd last year.
Right, last year they sold out. So what we've done is we've added other nights, so we're actually going to be doing a full week of tours from the 27th to the 31st. We are going to be only having one tour each night, and that's going to be at 7 p.m.
Well, that's nice. It gets a little bit dark. You get that spooky feel. You don't always see the ghosts before they pop up.
No, you don't want to see them down the street. And then also, what's going to be interesting and different this year is on the 31st, that Friday evening, right after the tour, from 8 to 9:30, we're having what we were calling a Come As You Were party. And that's where, even if you don't take the tour or have taken it earlier in the week, we'd really like you to come. We're going to encourage people to dress as, it doesn't have to be famous people from the past. It could be, anyone really, if you want to use vintage clothes, or if one of our steampunk friends wants to come in costume, or if you're a reenactor or whatever. We are going to have a costume contest, but what'll be interesting to see is, we're probably going to see some Elvises and Marilyn Monroes and some other people from our joint history. But that'll be going from 8 to 9:30, and then as we always like to do to encourage people to enjoy downtown. It'll be a great launching off point to other activities that'll be taking place in downtown Hampton.
There will be.
Yes, so maybe you can win your first prize at our costume contest and go into something else and win some more.
And then keep going. Okay, thank you. And if people want to hear those dates again, the tours are?
They start on the 27th and go through the 31st. The tickets, I would encourage that people buy tickets early. There'll be $5 before the event and then $8 the night of the tour.
If there are openings.
If there are openings.
Call ahead.
Call ahead. You can call the museum. All that information is going to be available. Or you can go into the lobby of the Hampton History Museum where the visitor center is and buy your tickets there.
Okay.
So I would encourage people to do that.
All right. That sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you. Again, I went on the tour last year. It was a ton of fun, wide range of folks, and a really good evening. So I hope to see you there.